One.
Good evening. I want to open this broadcast by wishing Chag Urim Sameach and Happy Chanukah to the audience that is tuned in. Chanukah has always been a holiday that has brought Jews together as a nation and as a family. It is a holiday that marks the tenacity of the Jewish people to hold on to its unique culture, language, and religion in the face of overwhelming odds. The events of October 7th and their aftermath is just the latest test of the mettle of the Jewish people and Israeli people. The inhumane brutality and humiliation suffered by so many on that day at the hands of Hamas and their collaborators will go down in the annals of Jewish history as our darkest day of infamy since the Holocaust. It will also be noteworthy because of the outpouring of anti-Israel and anti-Semitic vitriol in so many countries around the world and in international organizations on a level not seen in the past 80 years. The attack and ensuing war have inflicted a tremendous human toll in Israel. There is still active fighting in Gaza, as you know. 138 Israelis are still in captivity in Gaza. Thousands of families and wounded are building back from so much loss and pain, including 861 civilian deaths and 411 soldiers. But like the lights of the Chanukah that we will light shortly, and we light them, as you know, from 1 to 8, and we expect that in the same way the Jewish people will build back step by step, hopefully better than we were before. Through our candle lighting ceremonies today and on Monday through Thursday next week, we will enter the homes of just a handful of the people directly and profoundly affected by the events of October 7th and their aftermath, and engage in a short, intimate discussion about their lives before and after. We do this in the interest of building more closely knit connections between Israel and the diaspora, which has been the principal duty of the B'nai B'rith World Center since its founding in 1982. Today we have the privilege of being in the home of David and Andy Arnovitz in Jerusalem to light candles with their son-in-law, First Lieutenant in the Reserves, Tzvi Halsband, who was severely injured in fighting in Gaza, where he commanded a tank platoon. Ziv, let's light the candles, and then we'll talk for a few minutes. All right?
My honor.
B'vasha.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של חנוכה.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
אמן. הנרות הללו שאנו מדליקים, הנרות הללו שאנו מדליקים, על הניסים ועל הנפלאות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו, שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בזמן הזה. Again, thank you so much for letting us into your home with your family and being here together. It's an honor to meet you actually for the first time. I've heard a lot about you through my daughter, who's friends with your wife, and you lived together in Lod, and in the meantime you moved away, but you've maintained a relationship, and through Hadass, I've heard what happened to you and watched your recovery. And why don't we begin by you telling us a bit about your life before October 7th, and then we'll move on from there.
Okay. First of all, it's also my pleasure. I'm very proud to talk to you and to the community. As I know your daughter, I guess that she gained it from somebody, so thank you for being who you are and for letting me this opportunity. So a bit about myself. So I'm 31 years old. My name is Ziv. I'm 31 years old and I have 3 kids. First of all, I'm happily married to Dina. She's amazing, and without her, I don't know how can I handle this situation. So I'm happily married to Dina and I have 3 kids. Oz is the oldest, is almost 6. After him, it's Eden, she's about 3. And after Eden, we have a new baby. His name is Nevo. And I will expand a bit more about him soon. And I have main hobbies actually that guide me in my life. I really like extreme. I like to push myself to the edge. So the first one is off-road biking. So since I remember myself, I rode a bike and I take it to the edge also when I did the Israel Trail. And when I get out from the army. So I did the Israel Trail with one of my best friends.
Hiking?
Biking.
Biking.
Off-road biking, yes. And it's amazing. And I did few rides in different countries in the world, in the snow. Amazing experience, sometimes with a tent on my back. But Israel Trail is the most powerful thing that I did in my life, especially with the bike. And then other hobby that I'm really proud of is that make me love the winter, hate it a bit less, is skiing and especially snowboard. In the last few years I go with my friends to do snowboard, also in the different countries in the world. And I really like also the quiet. One of the things that I love the most is go to the beach, look on the waves and just relax. So it's really important things in my life. Whenever I need some inspiration, I go to the beach, usually with music. And as I said, I will expand a bit more about my 3rd kid, Nevo. He was born in September 9th, and he was preemie. He was born actually 6 weeks earlier than his due date. His due date was 20th to October. And it was really challenging. Actually, it's the 3rd child. We really waited for this birth. We know everything, God with us, we know it. We did it in the 2nd time, natural birth. What can go wrong? And a lot of things went wrong. So we went, we was here at Shabbat. We were here, me and my wife, after Shabbat, for Shabbat Chatan, after her brother just got married. Amazing Shabbat. I remember we sat in the table in the next room, and in my first coffee drink that I just took, the first shluck, my wife told me something going wrong. I feel like my water broke. I told her, what's going on? What? Not now, please not now. Anyway, that's what happened, and we ran to the hospital, and then fortunately we got Nevo 6 weeks early. And we released from the hospital 3 weeks after, right before Sukkot holiday. So the kids were at home, and it was really challenging. We didn't have the time to prepare ourselves, and not even the time to be as a couple with the new baby and in the new situation. And as you see, we really waited to the 8th of October to some silent time, only me and my wife with the baby. And actually I planned, this is my job at house, plan fun days. So I promised to my wife, I put the kids at their schools, at their infrastructure, and we are going somewhere. And I just bought tickets to a place that we love to go, actually really chill with hot water, springs. We really love this place. And as you know, unfortunately it didn't happen. What did happen, it's the 7th to October, as we know, and we will discuss a bit more later, but Hamas infiltrated to Israel. We woke up to sirens, And actually, we just ran from our bed in the first siren, took the kids as fast as we can. We are living in Kiryat Gat. We have only 45 seconds. We took the kids. I remember we ran into the shelter. And immediately when we get into the shelter, we heard a huge bomb that was actually a rocket fell down. A rocket fell down. אנחנו באמצע, אתה צריך רגע לתת לי. אתה צריך לתת לי, בסדר? Thank you, חמוד. Move. עוזי, תן לנו רגע. So a rocket fall down 2 streets from my house. We heard a huge boom, and we was really in shock. Like it was everything went so fast. Anyway, after half an hour, like it was a bit silent, and unfortunately, we know this routine in Israel, and we ask ourselves, okay, like maybe another a bit, something that's going on with Gaza. Soon we'll go over it. And about around 8 o'clock, another sirens, and we were already prepared to go to shul. So the kids were actually near the elevator, like Shabbat elevator, and immediately when we opened the door to the house to go to the shul, again sirens, and then we understand that something like much bigger is going on. And that's it. Actually, this is how we heard about it. Was the 7th of October for us. And for me, my brother called me actually, my big brother, and told me, are you connected are you aware of the news, or did you open the news? And I told him, no, I keep Shabbat, what do you want? Like he called me 10 times. And he told me, as soon as possible, just open the news and start to read. And that's it. The first title that I remember is 50 people get killed, dozens kidnapped. I started to cry actually. I remember also I just showed it to my wife and we started to cry both. We just say the kids, wait a second. And that's it actually. That's how I heard about it, and this is about myself. I think you asked me about before the 7th of October, but I don't think that I can handle this situation anymore like the Ziv that was before. Mm-hmm.
So what were the circumstances of you being called up to the reserves?
To the reserve duty?
Yeah.
Actually, I was a platoon commander also in my service, a platoon commander, and also I did 4.5 years in the army, so I know the routine of being in the army. But in this time, actually, I was not in an active job. I was between jobs, between platoon commander in the reserve duty and to operation officer, which operation officer, if you know, it's the one that I'm not actually fighting, but manage the troops and like the different units. So actually I was not called, and I was a bit shocked. And I sent messages to my commander and asked them, how can I support, how can I join? And it was a loop for the next three days that they told me, we don't have what to do with you right now. You didn't do the course of the operations. We have enough platoon commander for now. Somebody like the one that switched me. And I say, okay, like I was really upset. I told him, let me know. And I have this WhatsApp messages I saw. It was about 4 times. But I was really upset. But after a few times, I just said, maybe this is the fate. That's what God wants. As I showed you before, I have a new baby. I have 3 kids at home. That's what God wants. Stay at home, do whatever you can. And we also, in my job, we deal with the big data. And now we did a new partnership with the Ministry of Defense.
In your day job, your regular job? In
my regular job, yes. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of data that we know how. We also have injection tool to pull data. So we pull a lot of data from Instagram, from Telegram, and we help the government to find the hostages. Not to find, but to give a bit more information. Where are they, and to closure a bit. I said, okay, that's what needs to happen. Maybe that's what God wants. I'm not in an active job. I did my best. I really want to join, but a few days later, after I focused on my daily job, I got a phone call from Amit. I got a phone call and she told me, hi Ziv, I'm from a rail unit. I heard that you are a platoon commander. You didn't call to the reserve. You didn't call up. Are you ready to join us? And at the first moment, although I really wanted before to join, now I was a bit shocked because I get used to the life at home. I helped a lot to my wife. I said, okay, what's now? So I told her, okay, first of all, I would love to join. I'm not operationally ready because I didn't do a lot of time duty as a platoon commander. What can we do about it? She told me, I'm not sure. The platoon commander will call you soon. And that's what happened actually. A few minutes later, Adam called me. This is the platoon commander. And he's a really serious man. Now that I know him much better, he's a really serious, cold man. Hi, Ziv. I heard the situation. I understand that you want to join, but you feel not operationally ready. Let's leave aside the operation side. What about your spirit? I told him, Adam, my spirit is very high. I really want to join you. Just help me to do the profession side. I'm all in. He told me, okay, wait a second. I understand, but as I understand also you have a new baby at home. Think about it, discuss it with your wife. I will call you soon in an hour from now, and I want an answer. And then, as you see here in the slide, I had a bit of dilemma of should I stay at home, should I be in-house to protect my family, or Am Israel. This was a really concern that I had. And then, actually, I went on to the Tayelet. I went to a walk on the street, took my earphones, and had to think a bit with myself. So I take 15 minutes, and I thought to myself, an history is going on now. Like Am Israel, as you said, Am Israel is doing an history now, as we did in Chanukah, as we did a lot of times in the history. How do I want to be in this part of the history? Do I want to be an active? Do I want to act? Or do I want to read the news like everybody, just on each platform, okay, IDF, or do I want to act? And I decided, okay, I'm on it. I'm not, whatever I say to Adam, that's what I believe. I came back home, I spoke to my wife. I didn't tell her before a lot. I told her, and I remember she also, she started to cry a bit. It's not easy to tell your wife that you are going on to the war, and we heard that people died already. And also I knew, I didn't tell her that before, that some people from my unit also get injured already. But together she told me also what I now say in my lecture, there is something bigger than us that's going on now. I support you. And that's what happened actually. He called me back and we go on. So that's how I called to the duty. I told Adam I'm in. And he told me don't worry about the profession side, and that's what happened actually. He sent me to Shizafon. This is the tanks base to prepare myself a bit. Mm-hmm. That's what was actually.
Now, I've heard a little bit about your injury, how it happened. Could you tell us about that battle and what actually happened to you and the nature of your injury?
Yes, I would love to. I understand that few people don't know exactly how the IDF is fight now, so I will give a bit recap, not too much. So this is me when I called to the duty, a bit pictures with my family, and me when I called up to the reserve. And I want to explain you a bit about how the IDF is fight, and then drill down to my specific fight. So now we fight as a unit, but not only tanks or only infantry soldiers. So we are units that combined, as it's called in English, combined battle, with the infantry, with the tanks, with the engineering, with the air forces, and we all as a unit, we are doing the operation together and also fight together. So most of the fights where I was, the missions were to kill terrorists, of course, and to destroy the infrastructure of Hamas, mostly the tunnels or buildings. We were at the south, so our goal was to prepare the fields to the day after. So we did a lot of missions like this, and we get into Gaza, we cross the border, of course. We kill the terrorists as much as we see in our eyes. The engineering, destroy the tunnels or the building as you can see in the news. And we as tanks, we usually focus on the enemy or the terrorists that in the long range, that want to kill us from the long range, usually from 2 kilometers or even more. And me, I have a spatial tank with some spatial tools that I can see also a bit farther, and also have few ways to see the enemies, like the terrorists, and to kill them and to destroy them. So I will focus now on 2 days of the fights, like Friday and Saturday, when I get injured. So in Friday we had a really intense fight. After I told you a few days, like we get into Gaza, we used to it, we understand really good that we are in a war. I also have a tank that in my the day before, actually in Thursday, that they got hit, and we have 2 soldiers from a unit that get injured. One of them also, it was not an easy one. Like, is still in hospital actually, 2 months after, like 1 month after. Anyway, at Friday we get into a really important mission to destroy a big tunnel. And as I told you, we the tanks get in first. We set in the front of in all the unit. Afterwards, the engineering and the infantry soldiers comes, and we started to conduct a fight with the enemy. And after 2 hours or 3 hours that we destroyed a big tunnel and a few different houses and conduct a fight, we started to understand the enemies are here. It's very intense, and we also started to get information from the battalion that in the school that is 800 meters before, like west, there is a base of Hamas. So we have an enemy, a terrorist in the long range, and now we understand that there is Hamas base right in front of us. Immediately the commander says, destroy everything that around you, because we are really worried when we see long range and middle range. We understand that the next thing is the short range. We understand that as the battalion had a few days ago, just people came out from opening in tunnels, and that's what we're afraid. So we like in all the area was the big olive fields. We just destroy it so that the enemy can't get out, and it didn't really help actually. So we have the fight with the school actually, that is a base of Hamas, and they exploit it, that we are good people. We are, like for me, the first time that I shoot on the school, it was, I can explain how does it feel like to shoot on school, to understand that they exploit it, and the world, like also the world can't imagine that's what they are doing. And anyway, when we are conduct the fight with the school, we destroy these olive fields immediately. Like I just blink, and a huge person goes out from the floor, from the ground. A huge person, I remember exactly how it looks like. He was with brown pants, black shirt, and a huge missile, anti-tank missile on his shoulder. I was a bit nervous, and then I did my drill that we learned all the years in the tanks school. Driver as fast as you can, go on. And we wanted to go like to drive over the man. I started to drive, and he immediately just shoot his missile. It was, I can't explain what it was a huge boom, and like it was a really miracle, and it just passed near my ear, and it was the first time that I really touched the death in, like it was really miracle. And I came to, like I was about 5 meters from the person, from the terrorist, and I thought to myself, oh no, driver stop, go as fast as you can backwards. And you ask to myself, why did I do this? Because what happened to us a few days ago to another tank, we were on an opening of a tunnel. He get in, and then few different terrorists just came out with mines and stick them to the tank. Mm. And that's how we get the injured people a few days ago. So immediately I told the driver, go backwards as fast as you can, and I go out on the communications and say, it's Ziv speaking, anti-tank missile from the fields, from the olive fields. anti-tank missile from the olive fields. And then I saw the two tanks that was with me. We all during the fight, we were 3 tanks to the south, 3 to the west, and 3 to the north. So the 2 tanks that were with me to the south, I just saw them coming so fast, and I saw the shooter of the commander. Actually, he was near me. I saw his shooter came, and he was straight on the terrorist, and then he shoot. Like I breathe, and I saw the terrorist just fly in the air. I can't tell you like how happy I was. Like I understand, like it was a miracle. I get my life back, and then I stayed on the communication. Each missile that shoot on us, that fire on us, it's less missiles that the enemy has, and they use it on kids, on women, to burn people alive, and that's my job here. So that I said it's really fast in the communication. I said continue the fight, I'm okay. And 2 minutes afterwards, we also get in the communication. We heard that the Air Force are coming to help us because we asked for an help. And because of the school, we had a lot of enemy. It was terrible. And then I heard the airplane is coming, the fight plane coming, and he spoke to the commander. But because I also I'm the last one in the units that go out from Gaza because I have some special tools. I was the one that also always need to make sure that before they shoot, they drop a bomb, they have enough room that we won't get injured by ourselves from our fight plane. So is with me in the communication. Ziv, let me know when can I am a minute from you. I understand, okay, I have only 1 minute. I told to all the unit start to go back, to pull back we are going out, Air Force is here. Everybody is started to go out. And I told him in the communication, it's Ziv, it's yours, you can do it. And 1 minute afterwards, I remember a huge bomb going, like they dropped a huge bomb on this base of Hamas. And we know that we killed a lot of terrorists there, and that exploit the school, exploit the situation, and wanted to kill us. And this was Friday. That led up to Saturday. I will do it a bit shortly. In Saturday we get into a night battle. Actually, that's night. It's like now we are going out at night. It's difficult, so we get in also to a really important mission, and I can explain you how important was it. Every time before we get into Gaza, me or a tank like me, a special tank, going to positions and make a bit like tell the commanders what's going on with the enemies, with the terrorists, if we see something. So we had a common language that usually I have green, orange, and red. Red means horrible. Like maybe we should not go in, maybe we should use the Air Force before or do any operation before we get in. I tell him red, and he tell me okay. After a few minutes I hear all the units, it's the commander. As you heard Ziv, it's red. We have a lot of enemies, a lot of terrorists that are waiting for us. Anyway, we are doing it. It's an important task. Air Force is with us. You are strong. Good luck. So we get in to a few hours of battle, like a lot of enemies, a lot of terrorists from the long term, from the short term. I also used a helicopter. Like me especially, it was an amazing experience. Like I had few times, but now I saw a room that I recognized that Hamas holds a lot of guns there. So I remember that I spoke to the helicopter, and we also shoot on it. So anyway, after a few hours of this fight, and it was terrible, a lot of terrorists. And during the fight also I have observations that show me some targets in the fields, okay? Like, do you see the big house, two houses near it, we see enemies, shoot. So I had communication with also another forces in the unit, so I knew how to deal it, like I did with the Air Force, like I did with the infantry soldier. Anyway, suddenly, 200 meters from me, I saw on my map, we have a map with connections, like kind of Waze or something, or Google Maps that you can see things. I saw two targets pop up 200 meters, and I say in the communication, on the battalion communication, it's Ziv speaking, what's going on, what is there? What is this? I spoke to the observations, what are those targets? And I got an answer, the observations are now not with the battalion, they went to be on the corps, like the corps is 3 battalions. So they are not with our battalion now, continue fight. I was a bit nervous, I know that something going on. I was about to send the communication to the commander, something not good is going on. I told it also to my team, and unfortunately this was my last sentence. After I say this sentence that I feel that something is not going as well, I just got it. I got a huge fireball. So 3 people get out from openings, tunnels, and shoot 3 missiles, anti-tank missiles, 2 on my tank, and 1 on my friend that actually is living in Lod. He was with us in the community. I knew it only afterwards. And one of the missiles just hit me in my face. Yeah, it just hit me in my face, and I will explain a bit more. But anyway, here, I didn't tell you about how tank is from inside, so I will let you know. There is the shooter, me, the commander, that's above the shooter, the loader that's in left, and the driver. Immediately, the driver, like, he was amazing. He just understands that something going on and goes as fast as he can, like, backwards, because if not, they can run for us or towards us. And the loader, that was amazing, picked me up as a baby. That's what he said. I will show you a picture of him. He's a really huge guy. He's the one to the right. He picked me up as a baby, put me on the floor of the tank, and started to give me the first treatment. And what he did actually is to stop the blood. And he tell the shooter also, go up, switch Ziv in the commander's place, and take us out from here. And what's going on here that I don't remember a lot, but I can speak. I will tell you in a second why, and I don't see anything, and I'm a bit unconscious, like I don't remember it. And what's going on, that suddenly I hear, that's I learned about our brain, like it's insane. Suddenly I heard, I think he's died, I think he's died, I think he's dying. And I guess that my brain understood that he's speaking about me, like I'm the person that is dying now, but I was not dying. So what I did is like this with my hands, like fortunately I had a bit powers, and then I heard, he's alive, and that's it. That's what I remember, like the brain focused for this 1 minute, stay alive. And it's really important because if not, maybe they won't call the helicopter and whatever. Anyway, they took me out from Gaza, and they went to the border. From the border, there was an Amer car, like a jeep, that took me another 2 kilometers to be more safe. And there come the helicopter that took me to the hospital. In the helicopter, I will do it shortly also, I had also an experience that was really unusual. I was sure that I'm dying. I remember darkness. The sky was like black, and I remember some blinks or a light that's coming on and off. I was sure that I was dying. I remember really my baby picture, and it was insane, but I was a bit like with a smile. I remember that I said, oh, that's how it looks like a bit chill. And as you see, I'm here. I was not died. Fortunately, what was, they gave me a really, really strong drugs, ketamine and morphium it's called, that make me like illusion, I think it's called. So it was an hard experience, and then after a few minutes they put me in a breath control. I remember I do like this with my hands. I felt I touch my ring and I say I'm alive, and that's it. From there on, I was unconscious. I went to the hospital for a long surgery. They thought that I lose both of my eyes, and they really afraid that I had damage to my brain. So I get in 2 o'clock at night, 2 p.m., 2 a.m., to surgery to save my life. Unfortunately, I lose my right eye. This is a glass eye. I don't know if you see, but this is a glass eye that I got actually this week. Before that, I just had a hole in my eye. I had a cut in my nose, so they did a lot of stitches, and I broke some of my teeth. It was terrible. And I also can't do this with these hands because I have things in my fingers. And that's it actually about my injury. It was tough. Now I deal with it. But this was my injury. I say thanks God that I'm here, but...
Well, Ziv, you know, I know that you've made a decision that you're not going to let your injury get you down, and that you have plans for the present and for the future. So maybe in the last minute that we have, if you can tell us how are you dealing with this and what you're planning on doing in the future.
Good question. So I skip on to a slide that So first of all, I have to say before, it's really important. I'm not run, but I think about my steps. I have a psychologist that I'm speaking with twice a week. Speak about the things, understand how I can handle it, and don't let my soul break now or in few years from now. But first of all, I was yesterday in a non-profit place that's called Brothers for Life. And the big sentence there is choose in life. So that's what I'm doing now. I choose in life. I choose to look on the full cup and not on the full half that is full. I'm here. I'm alive. My wife have me for the rest of her life. My kids have me. And more than that, there is a big commander that came to visit me and told me, you lose one thing, but you get and you gain and you have a lot of others that you get now. So part of the things is the people that I meet. Part of this is to meet my family from a different perspective, that's supportive. My brother didn't leave me for 3 weeks. And my friends that I always knew that they are good friends of mine, but they give me popular things that popular singers that I love. They bought me every day and other things that to my spirit, and I really appreciate them. And until now, every day we are speaking. And now I believe that now I choose in life. I choose to dream big. And now, as somebody told me, I get my life back, and this is the time to choose what I want to do, how I want to do, and to push as much as I can to dream big. And as you see, I started to give lectures also, and this is something that gives me also a lot of power. I give lectures in schools to teenagers, and it's amazing, and they hug me, and like you see teenagers, like tough teenagers that start to cry, and I talk to them about doing good stuff, to be a good person. And the last thing that I have to say, and that's how I finish it, the best time to live, to do things is now. And I'm working on lectures, and I'm working on things that I want to do for the community, for Am Israel. And I'm looking forward.
Well, thank you for sharing this message, and I think our viewers now understand maybe a little better about why there's no doubt that we're going to win this war, because of the great spirit of the people of Israel and the soldiers of the IDF. So Ziv, thank you for being there for us.
My honor.
And I want to end really by, please convey our gratitude to your in-laws and your wife for letting us come to your home and light candles and hear from you. I hope that we'll have another opportunity to get together maybe a few months down the road to see really how your recovery is coming and what you're doing. I do want to invite everyone to join us from Monday to Thursday at the same spot there on the Nabrith Facebook page. On Monday, we will light candles with the family of Matan Lior, who was killed at the Nova Festival, that of course you've all heard about. So that will be Monday at 6 p.m. Israel time. Ziv, again, thank you for being with us and for opening this series of broadcasts on Chanukah.
Thank you. My pleasure.